Last time on Everdark Academy. Grayson wakes up to a fluffy wolf in his bed, but they are not allowed to stay that way, as Balthazar and Camorn have arrived at the dorm to take Grayson to the interrogation of the Horus vampire who attacked him and killed Sam. There are certain portions of this chapter that contain sensual content that cannot be shared on the public podcast. Those locations will be noted. As always, the uncut, uncensored versions are available to listen to right now at wraithrain.com if you sign up for a membership. The link is in the description down below. Please know that we couldn't do this without you, and thank you for your support. Please remember to like and subscribe. Everdark Academy, Episode 24, Heart's Desire. Earlier, Ryder heard Grayson dressing in the bathroom. He lingered by the fire, eyelids shutting, as he imagined ignoring Balthazar and Camorn and Lawson and going into that bathroom. Ryder. Balthazar's droll voice echoed in his mind. Lawson is still in Nightvallen. What are you going to do about that? Ryder grimaced. Any faint hope he'd had that Lawson would go of his own accord before Ryder had to see him died a swift death. He will go. Will he? Maybe if you give him the old heave-ho he will. But otherwise? Do you want there to be a fight between Lawson and myself about the leadership of the Wern? Don't you have enough to do managing the school? He wondered for a moment whether Balthazar would say anything about how he had taken control of the Eiros when Damon had confirmed what all had already known, that he was Eiros reborn, and that maybe Ryder should do the same. But could he compare their circumstances? Damon had not called him by Wern's name. No, he was just Ryder. That's all. That's it. I'm not the one who's making this necessary. Who attacked Grayson last night? Me or... Who was it? I can't quite recall. Ryder fisted his hands. He. You are not going to excuse Lawson's behavior, are you? Balthazar sounded outraged, and Ryder half expected the Eiros vampire to storm into the bedroom. No, He doesn't understand. Ryder heard the cry of a child in his own voice. He expected Balthazar to mock him, but he did not. Instead, he sounded like he understood, and he sounded tired, too. I know. I understand wanting a master who is different, but hurting Grayson was not about misunderstanding anything, Ryder. You know that. He was made by Legion. Sometimes he's not himself. He didn't even believe this, and he'd been ready to give Lawson a second death himself if Grayson hadn't already taken him down the other night. But it was always like this. As time and distance lessened the wrong, Ryder started to forgive even though Lawson never really asked for it, and things would be good for a time, but then they would slip back into what they really were. And you were made by him, and I was made by Roan Tithe. But I know that neither of us would do as Lawson did to Grayson. I want you to think very hard, Ryder. If Grayson did not have the powers he did, what would Lawson have done to him? Ryder's head lowered, and his chest felt tight. He couldn't imagine Grayson being hurt, but Grayson had been hurt by others over his young life. Would Ryder let that continue now? I know. I don't understand why Lawson did that. He sees Grayson as a threat. Grayson is taking you away from him, and what he wants for the Wern. I want the same thing for the Wern that he does, Ryder shouted, standing up from the couch. Do you? Yes, You might be clear in what you believe, but is it the same as what Lawson believes? What he really believes, not the pablum he feeds the bloodline? If you know something I don't, I know much you don't. But it doesn't matter what I know, because it's all about what you believe. I just want the truth. Then here is a bit of truth for you. Any other vampire would have been punished by me and Camorn for such actions. The punishment would be severe. But King Damon wants to give you this opportunity to clean up your own bloodline. Balthazar was grim, as if he didn't altogether agree with the Vampire King's decision. My bloodline. The words he'd imagined being spoken as he had drunk from Grayson's blood fluttered to the surface of his mind.
We did fly together.
Yes, we did. And we shall again. Fix this mess, Ryder. Don't fail our king. Or Grayson. Balthazar shut their conversation down as easily as slamming a door closed. The silence in Ryder's head should have been soothing, but it wasn't. He felt frustrated, as if he still wanted to argue with Balthazar some more, but he couldn't win that fight. He knew the Iros vampire was right. Being with Grayson had replaced his anger at Lawson with the pleasure of the young man's company. It had dimmed the awfulness of Lawson's behavior. But now, as he heard Grayson brushing his teeth, his spine straightened. He would not fail Grayson. He would keep the young man safe. Soon Grayson would be out here, and he'd see the young man's lithe body, glimpse his smile, smell his scent, want to hold and stroke and kiss him. He wouldn't be able to let Grayson go if he stayed, and he had to go. He had to end this thing with Lawson. He pulled on his clothes and stuffed his feet into his boots. He paused at the doorway out of Grayson's rooms and looked down the hallway to where the young man was. He couldn't leave without letting Grayson know he would be back. He went to the desk and grabbed a pen and paper, writing a brief note that he hoped would convey more than the spare words did. And then he was out the door, chest tight, spine straight. He strode out to the common room, intent on not speaking to anyone there. Grayson's roommates were unknown quantities, and he did not think Grayson wanted their curiosity satisfied. Thankfully, it was only Edgy and Amara, and not the incorrigible Mairead present to see him go. Amara lifted her eyebrows, but gave him a tight smile. Eiji wished him a good evening. He found the older Japanese man interesting, as he seemed more than he appeared, though Ryder could not quite figure out what that was. Balthazar was poking around the pool table, but he made no similar greeting, not even telepathically, ignoring Ryder altogether. Ryder felt a stab of shame. Balthazar was right to be disgusted with him. He was with himself. This pattern he'd gotten into with Lawson, one that Demos had pointed out time and time again, had led to Grayson nearly being hurt. He had to stop it. Camorn was by the door and blocked his way out with a hand. What do you want, Kelly?
Do you not see the master you wish to see the one you have. It will make things easier.
His voice was soft, but definite. Was Camorn giving him advice? Was he sympathetic? A Callie, the Callie, sounded like he understood what Ryder was going through. He didn't know how to react. Camorn then opened the door for him and gestured for him to leave. Ryder did so, without saying anything. He shoved his hands into his pockets and moved swiftly towards the Warren house. His mind was strangely blank. Lawson was still there. A wonderful night had just meant a delay. He needed to deal with his master, had to address what he hadn't for years, decades, centuries, and do it now. My bloodline. Is it my bloodline? If it was, if he was Warren reborn, then even if Grayson was Asher reborn, he had a chance for what? What did he want? Grayson did not wish to be a vampire. Supposedly, but couldn't his mind be changed? Ryder's heart leaped at this. Perhaps right now he is rejecting us because he fears we will reject him, as he has been all his life. But it doesn't matter. I can't have him. We swore not to participate in the school. And while Grayson was not really a student, he would be seen as such. This is a mess. Demos was waiting for Ryder outside of the Warren house, pacing like the Black Panther that was his animal form. But he was very much in his human one at that moment, clad in leather and spikes. Evidently, things are getting messier. Demos's silver eyes widened upon seeing Ryder, and his blood brother hurried over to him. Demos put a hand on the center of Ryder's chest to stop him from continuing on inside. Ryder looked past him to the Werren house. The door inside and one to the courtyard was open. His enhanced hearing kicked in. He could hear one of the older Werren vampires, Harlan.
Is Ryder with us on not taking fledglings from the school, Lawson? Last eve, he seemed to have already found one.
Ryder felt a stab of guilt, even as he tried to tell himself that things with Grayson were just for fun, just temporary, and that, even if he wanted Grayson as a fledgling, it would lead to nothing. Yet his heart had already betrayed him, and Harlan always saw beneath the surface of things. He was an old hunter with a silver wolf form, with notches in its ears. He looked to be in his 60s in human form, with dark skin the color of polished walnut. He was not Ryder's greatest fan, but he wasn't Lawson's either, so his words had weight.
Something happened with that human coming to the school.
She'd evidently heard rumors of Grayson's eventful coming, but did she know more? Surely Lawson had told her about what the young man had done to him. Or maybe not. Lawson needed the appearance of strength at all times, but especially now, with Damon challenging Werren tradition. That a human could best him, no matter his powers, would truly make Lawson look like an unworthy leader. Unworthiness should not be determined by that, but Ryder knew that's how it was. Unless Werren returns and changes things. His mind went back to his experience with Grayson the night before. The dream was so very strange, for it had to be a dream, not a memory, not whatever it had felt like.
What happened? And if something did happen, why didn't Ryder tell us?
A younger Werren vampire named Irene protested. She had the same quick, bird-like movements as her animal form, a murmuration of starlings. With her pixie cut of blonde hair around a heart-shaped, golden-skinned face, she only appeared 15 years old, but was actually 157. But despite the years tempering her some, she always led with suspicion and dismay. Ryder knew why. She'd been sold into slavery by her own father and expected betrayal by everyone, so he wasn't surprised that she assumed she had a right to know everything, and that if she wasn't told, treachery was afoot.
The immortals have shown the human great favor. Perhaps there is a good reason that Ryder takes such an interest. We should wait to hear from him.
Ryder recognized the warm, neutral voice of Cybin. Cybin was the oldest of the Werren vampires that still survived. They were a war child too, but seemed not to have taken the psychic damage that others of her ilk had done. It was rumored that Cybin's master was Werren himself, but they did not speak of it. With their closely shaved head of black hair and almond-shaped eyes, Cybin had the body of a dancer or a martial artist. Their animal form was that of an Arctic fox with brilliant white fur. Ryder had always respected Cybin's calm and measured response to most situations. But again, like with Harlan, Cybin kept their distance from Ryder. But also, like Harlan, Cybin was not Lawson's biggest fan either.
Did you know that the first epic-length story in this series, Everdark, is also available as an audio story? It's published in full on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms. If you haven't heard it yet, why not check it out? It's complete at 147 chapters and leads straight into Everdark Academy. I'll post a link to the YouTube playlist and the Spotify channel in the notes.
He spent the night away with that human, too. He makes us look like fools.
Ryder realized that these 4 Werren vampires were considered leaders in the bloodline, even if they did not run their own houses. They were ones that the other Werren entrusted with their thoughts. So what they were saying likely was what the majority of the Werren were thinking.
Lawson didn't call them. They came to him.
Have they said anything about Grayson's abilities? He couldn't be sure who had caught what the night before. Balthazar had indeed taken care of many of the vampires who had seen, but he hadn't done anything on the Werren. Ryder had felt a mixture of annoyance and relief that Weren minds hadn't been touched. Relief, because did not all vampires fear the Iros for this very ability? But annoyance, because it meant he would have to deal with it. Yet relief again that Balthazar evidently thought he could deal with it. Well, Damon thought so.
Yeah, a little bit. Simon and Harlan noticed. Irene was too busy looking for shadows to see what enters the light.
Correction. Demos and I have to deal with it. And Demos has been dealing with it himself so far. How much grief have you gotten?
Brother, no more than I can handle. Don't worry. How's Grayson?
Ryder couldn't help the smile that bloomed on his face. Demos shook his head and chuckled. He's good. He's really good. I don't think discussing him now is a good idea.
No, they know you're here, and they're listening.
Demos tipped his head towards the house. Ryder clapped his shoulder. Thank you for running interference and alerting me.
Anytime, brother. Hey, it's time to go do this thing. You ready?
Yes. The two of them walked into the house and right back out again into the courtyard where the others waited. Lawson was ensconced on a large pile of pillows, his chin resting on one hand. Natasha stood behind him, her arms tightly wound around her chest. Simon leaned against a tree, legs crossed at the ankles, seemingly relaxed, but ready. Harlan was sitting on a boulder, sharpening a knife. Irene moved restlessly around the group. They knew he had heard them. They thought that he was there to explain himself. The way that Demos took a stance by his left side, hands grasped in front of him, flexing almost menacingly, told Ryder that Demos thought they were on the defensive too. But Ryder was going to disappoint them all. He was here on the offense. He had come to clean up his bloodline. Why are you still here, Lawson? Ryder stood in front of the other man, legs shoulder-width apart. The way all of the vampires shifted in surprise and then stilled told Ryder he had scored a point. Demos smiled and chuckled while shaking his head. Simon's eyes narrowed, but a small smile played over their mouth. Harlan's eyebrows lifted. Irene's hands fluttered at her sides, and Natasha frowned as her gaze shot down towards Lawson. His master pursed his lips and didn't even look up at Ryder. At that moment, Ryder thought of their last conversation in this place. Did he think that Ryder had let Damon's assignment of control of the Weren to him go to his head? Or maybe Ryder was starting to take all those rumors about him being Weren reborn seriously, finally. Or maybe the moment he made this about me versus him, it was a self-defeating prophecy that we would come to blows. Is that where I'm going with this? Do I want that to be where this goes?
Why I am not gone is the same reason you did not come home last night.
Ryder said nothing. He did not defend himself or explain what he was doing with Grayson.
Did you think King Damon was going to make this easy for us?
Ryder made no response. He wasn't sure where Lawson was going with this.
That boy Grayson is unique, special.
Lawson's lips pursed as he said the words, as if he tasted them.
Does your blood run pure, Grayson?
Ryder's jaw suddenly ached as his fangs were down and he was clenching his teeth. His lips were firmly pressed together, so he hoped that no one knew.
I'm betting,
Lawson drew an invisible symbol on the pillows with one hand,
that among the students in this class will be ones that will appeal to the Weren most of all. Students that are perfect for us.
But if that's true, then...
Of course it's true. Damon is the hunter. We are the prey. The students are the bait.
Though he appears benevolent, King Damon is king. He will not allow our intransigence to stand.
But it must stand.
Lawson punctuated his statement by slamming his hands against his thighs.
Most of you are too young to have known Legion and all the other war children. You accepted, Simon. Ryder, you and Demos have hunted them, but you have no idea what it was to share a house with them, to be pack with them.
We know enough about them to take them down, Lawson. That's all we need to know. And they ain't family to us. They ain't pack. They out-of-control monsters.
Indeed they are. But you have to understand that we loved them. They are blood. And we loved them despite all the evil they did.
Lawson raked his hands through his hair. We do understand. The words were out of Ryder's mouth before he could catch them. But Lawson thought he was saying Ryder and Demos once again understood by hunting them, and not personal experience.
To have your master
attack someone you care for. Everyone went still. Demos's silver eyes were on Ryder, unblinking. Harlan stopped mid-sharpening of his knife.
Ryder?
Lawson winced as he said the name.
That was a misunderstanding.
No. To have his own pathetic words used here had anger burning inside of him. No, you didn't misunderstand anything. You didn't make a mistake. You did exactly what you intended to do. He crossed his arms at the wrists behind his back and began to walk towards Lawson. So let me get this straight. You believe that Damon has ensured that there are students of this school perfect for us as fledglings, namely that Grayson is perfect for me. Yes?
Am I wrong? Damon wants to make this painful. He wants to divide us by offering our heart's desire. But if we take it, we lose.
You believe that I want Grayson for a fledgling. You believe it, whether it's true or not. But you attacked him last night knowing this. A human, a young man. You attacked the person you believe is my heart's desire. The betrayal lanced through his words. He had thought that Lawson knew he was interested in Grayson, but this was so much more. He thought Grayson was Ryder's, and he still attacked him.
He's a trap, Ryder.
Lawson carefully got to his feet and put his hands out to Ryder.
He's not what he seems.
I know exactly who and what Grayson is. He was shaking. His hands were shaking. He felt like one of those ice bombs that when they went off, they destroyed everything around them.
Don't you see I'm trying to save you? Damon is trying to put a wedge between all of us. As each finds a potential fledgling, we'll lose sight of our traditions, our goals, the need to keep control of who we turn. The wartime could return and more fledglings like Legion.
Who cares about Legion when there's you? Even if everything you've said is true, you still hurt Grayson. You hurt him, my potential child, your grandchild.
He's sorry, Ryder. You should have heard him crying all last night. He wanted to go to you and explain, but...
I wouldn't let him.
You needed to cool off, Ryder. You were with Grayson longer. I can smell him on you. I can smell his blood on your breath. Your eyes are shining.
Ryder felt absurdly exposed. He knew that these things were obvious to other vampires, when they fed and from whom. Lawson suddenly clasped Ryder's hands in his.
You asked why I haven't left. I will leave here, but only if you come with me.
Ryder reared back and pulled his hands away. The thought of leaving was abhorrent to him. King Damon appointed me.
Is a king more important than your master?
Lawson's bloodshot eyes gazed into his.
What about your bloodline? Ryder, I know you. If you stay here, you will turn Grayson. All we fought for will be lost. Don't you see?
What I see is a vampire who has sought to harm me, who has accused me of treachery without any proof or understanding, who seeks to undermine me, who puts us at risk of being called traitors by our king.
I am doing what I must, no matter the cost.
You must leave, Lawson.
I must stay, to save my fledgling, to save my bloodline. There is nothing you can do about it.
Ryder closed his eyes. He breathed slowly. Maybe it was always going to come to this. He opened them. Yes, there is. I challenge you for the leadership of the Warren, Lawson Hughes.
You might be wondering if we use AI to help produce our audio stories. Not at all. Our podcasts and audiobooks are made with 100% human labor, including the actors, editors, producer, art team, and of course, me, the writer. If you're enjoying this story, leave a comment and tell us your favorite thing about it so far.